Hello and welcome in a small bit studio. Today we're going to talk about the Mitre machine. You're looking at a slightly older generation or the prototype, but it works exactly the same as the current generation, and I will explain you today how it works and how to get a perfectly mitred frames. The process of mitring is quite easy. It's just basically matching your temples and the front. So we have here the machine that is going to help you to cut a little angle here on the front of the frame and a little angle here on the temples. So you have a nice and seamless matching of the front and the temples, and in the future it wouldn't get bigger and you will have a nice connection. When you open the machine, it should look like this. Everything should be already assembled. All the things that you need to do is in the back connect your power, turn the switch on, and on the front two potentiometers to control the speed of the sanding and speed of the cutting. The one thing that we really like about this machine, that all the adjustments you can do without any tools. So you can adjust the pantoscopic tilt, you can adjust it for the different hinges, you can adjust it for the different thickness of the frame, all this with just a few hand screws and hand nuts. Another feature that we really like is very easy switching between the frames with the different hinges. Normally it's quite a long process to switch between the frames with different hinges. Here you are using always your hinges as a guide, so you don't need to do any long adjustments, just following your hinge. For the cutting of the angle on the front, we are using a carbide burr, assure you to have a nice and straight cut. For the cutting the angle of the temples, we are using sanding belt that you can change from the rough to the fine to have the perfectly seamless surface. In our workflow, the mitring of the frames is one of the last processes that you do. We normally doing this after we removing the frames from the barrels, so they already have all the features prepared, so it's already good surface, it's already having the hinges, base curve, bridge bump, everything, and now it's the time to do this process. On our mitre machine, you basically have two sections. This section is for mitring the front, so it's cutting that little angle next to the hinge, and this section is for mitring the temples. So this is like a small belt sander. One of the most important parts of cutting the front angle is clamping the frame properly. So you push this platform all the way in the back and slide your frame inside. And now you need to clamp your frame down, and using your hinge as a guide how far it needs to be clamped and what is the angle of the frame. You clamp it down, you make sure that the frame is not moving, just make sure that the whole thing is holding steady. Now when we have the frame already clamped, we need to adjust the micro stages. So first you're gonna use this one on the front that is going up and down. So we lower the frame a little bit and we're gonna push it towards the right side to make sure that it's away from the cutter. When you do the first cut, you should see if you are close to hinge or not, and according to that you can just move closer to the hinge or higher. When you finish with the cut and you think that you are in a good position, you can remove the clamps, flip the frame and do the other side exactly the same. Just for you to show you how this is supposed to look like, your cut needs to be really close to the hinge, although you cannot cut the hinge, otherwise you will have the scratches. It cannot make a little step that will cause problems when you're trying to match front and temple. Now we're going to talk about the mitring of the temples. Here we have a little sander with a sanding belt and the platform to have pantoscopic tilt. So we're going to always adjust the platform about the speed. We're going to run the sanding about 60 to 70% of the speed. We don't need to run the full speed, otherwise it will melt the acetate. First thing what you need to do, adjust your platform to guide you. So push your hinge against the back where you have the sanding belt, and based on your temple, you adjust your platform. When you have your platform already aligned and your hinge is perfectly touching the platform in the back and it's supported by the plate, you're going to move it to right and you can start opening the angle. You're still pushing against the back plate and you're opening the angle of the temple. Now we cut a little bit of angle and we open the temple a little bit. So important thing is to always try it with your front. Your front is already should have the cut angle, so you keep trying if you need to open it more. The machine in general doesn't need any special maintenance. What can happen over time, you can snap the sanding belt. You have a few spare ones in your toolbox, and replace it. You just loosen the screws and push this head down and you can put a new one. If the belt is not running in the center, you can just adjust the position of the belt here. So this is our mitring machine. Thank you for watching, and I hope this will help you to start working with this machine. If you have any problems, send us email or send us video what doesn't work and we're going to help you.